Numbers 13. Parashat Shlach. 12 scouts in the battle report. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Send some men on your behalf to investigate the land of Canaan, which I am giving to Bnei Israel. Each man you are to send will be a prince of the tribe of his fathers, a man from each tribe." So according to the word of Adonai, Moses sent them from the wilderness of Paran. All the men were princes of Bnei Israel. Each are their names: from the tribe of Reuben, Shemua, son of Zakur; from the tribe of Simeon, Shaphat, son of Hori; from the tribe of Judah, Caleb, son of Jephunneh; from the tribe of Issachar, Igal, son of Joseph; from the tribe of Ephraim, Hoshea, son of Nun; from the tribe of Benjamin, Palti, son of Raphu; from the tribe of Zebulun, Gadiel, son of Sodi; from the tribe of Manasseh, part of the tribe of Joseph, Gadi, sons of Suzi; from the tribe of Dan, Amiel, son of Gemali; from the tribe of Asher, Sether, son of Michael; from the tribe of Naphtali, Nabi, son of Vapsi; from the tribe of Gad, Guel, son of Machi. These are the names of the men Moses sent to investigate the land. Now he gave Hoshea, son of Nun, the name Joshua, as he sent them to explore the land of Canaan. He said to them, "Go up there, through the Negev, then go up into the hill country. See what the land is like and the people living there, whether they might be strong or weak, few or many, and what kind of land are they living? Is it good or bad? Also, what about the cities in which they are living? Are they unwalled, or do they have fortifications? How is the soil, fertile or poor? Are there trees on it or not? Do your best to bring back some of the fruit of the land." It was the season for the first ripe grapes. So they went up and explored the land from the wilderness of Zin as far as Rahab, the entrance of Hamath. They continued on up through the Negev and came to Hebron. There lived Ahiman, Sheshai, and Talmai, descendants of Anak. Hebron was built 7 years before Zoan in Egypt. When they reached as far as the valley of Eshcol, they put a single branch with a cluster of grapes. It was carried on a pole between the two of them. They also cut some of the pomegranates and figs. That place was called the Valley of Eshcol because of the cluster cut by Bnei Israel. They returned from investigating the land after 40 days. They traveled and returned to Moses, Aaron, and the entire community of Bnei Israel at Kadesh in the wilderness of Paran. They gave their report to them and the entire assembly, and they showed the land's fruit. They gave their account to him and said, "We went into the land where you sent us. Indeed, it is flowing with milk and honey. This is some of its fruit. Except the people living in the land are powerful, and the cities are fortified and very large. We even saw the sons of Anak there. Amalek is living in the land of the Negev. The Hittites, Jebusites, and Amorites are living in the mountains, and the Canaanites are living near the sea and along the bank of the Jordan." Then Caleb quieted the people before Moses and said, "We should definitely go up and capture the land, for we can certainly do it." But the men who had gone up with him said, "We cannot attack these people because they are stronger than we." They spread among Bnei Israel a bad report about the land they had explored, saying, "The land through which we passed to explore devours its residents. All the people we saw there are men of great size. We also saw that there are Nephilim. The sons of Anak are from the Nephilim. We seemed like grasshoppers in our eyes, as well as theirs." Chapter 14, Numbers. Grumblers will not enter the land. All through that night, the entire community raised up their voices. The people wept. All Bnei Israel grumbled against Moses and Aaron, and the whole community said, "If only we had died in Egypt, if only we had died in this wilderness. Why is Adonai bringing us to this land to fall by the sword? Our wives and children will be like plunder. Wouldn't it be better for us to return to Egypt?" They said to each other, "Let's choose a leader and let's go back to Egypt." And Moses and Aaron fell on their faces before the entire assembly of the community of Bnei Israel. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, who were among those who had explored the land, tore their clothes. They said to the whole assembly of Bnei Israel, "The land through which we passed is an exceptionally good land. If Adonai is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, and he will give it to us, a land flowing with milk and honey. Only don't rebel against Adonai, and don't be afraid of the people of the land. They will be food for us. The protection over them is gone. Adonai is with us. Do not fear them." But the whole assembly talked about violently stoning them. Then the glory of Adonai appeared at the tent of meeting to all Bnei Israel. Adonai said to Moses, "How long will these people treat me contemptibly? How long will they neglect not to trust in me? In spite of all the miraculous signs I have performed among them, I will strike them with the plague, I will destroy them, but I will make you into a nation greater and stronger than they." Moses said to Adonai, "The Egyptians will hear about it, because you brought up this people by your power from among them." They will tell the residents of the land about it. Already they have heard that you, Adonai, are in the midst of the people, that you, Adonai, have been seen eye to eye, that your cloud remains over them, and that in the pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night you go before them. If you kill these people all at once, the nations who have heard this report about you will say, because Adonai was unable to bring this people to the land he had promised them, he had slaughtered them in the wilderness. So please, Adonai, show his strength just as you have spoken, saying, Adonai is slow to anger and abundant in loving kindness, forgiving the iniquity and transgression. Still, he does not leave the guilty unpunished, bringing the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations. Forgive now the guiltiness of this people in accordance with the greatness of your loving kindness, just as you have pardoned the people from Egypt until now. Adonai answered, I have forgiven them just as you have spoken, but as certainly as I live, and certainly as the glory of Adonai fills the earth, none of the people who saw my glory and my miraculous signs I performed in Egypt and in the wilderness yet tested me in these 10 times did not obey my voice. Not one of them will see the land I promised to their forefathers. None of those who treated me with contempt will see it. However, my servant Caleb, because a different spirit is with him, and he is wholeheartedly behind me, I will bring him to the land where he went. His offspring will inherit it. Now since the Amalekites and Canaanites are inhabiting the valley, turning back tomorrow and set up by the wilderness, running toward the Sea of Reeds, Adonai then said to Moses and to Aaron, saying, How long will this wicked community be grumbling against me? I have heard the complaints of Benias throughout grumbling against me, so tell them, As surely as I live, says Adonai, I will do to you as I heard you say in my ears. In this very wilderness your bodies will drop, every one of your 20 years of age and older, who was numbered in the census and grumbled against me. Not one of you will enter the land about which I lifted my hand to make home for you, except Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun. As for your children, whom you said would be like plunder, I'll bring them in, and they will experience the land that you spurned, but your bodies will drop in the wilderness. Your children will be herdsome in the wilderness for 40 years. They will suffer because of your unfaithfulness until your corpses are consumed in the wilderness. For 40 years, corresponding to the number of 40 days you explored the land, 1 year for each day, you will suffer for your iniquities and know my hostility. I, Adonai, have spoken, and certainly will I do to all this wicked community banding together against me in the wilderness. They will meet their end, and they will die. Then the men whom Moses had sent to explore the land, who had returned and caused the whole community to grumble against him by spreading a bad report about the land, these men spreading the bad report about the land died of the plague in Adonai's presence. Of those men who had gone to explore the land, only Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, survived. When Moses related these things to all of Benias throughout, the people mourned bitterly. They rose the next morning and went up to the high mountain, saying, Look, let's go up to the place which Adonai promised, for we have sinned. But Moses, why are you disobeying the mouth of Adonai? That will never succeed. You should not go up, because Adonai will not be among you, and you will be defeated before your enemies. For the Amalekites and the Canaanites are now in front of you, and you will fall by the sword. Adonai will not be with you, because you turned away from the following Adonai. But presumptuously they went up to the high mountain country, though neither the ark of the covenant of Adonai's covenant nor Moses moved from within the camp. The Amalekites and Canaanites living in the mountain country came down, attacked them, and beat them down all the way to Hormah. Numbers 15, fragrant aromas to Adonai. Again, Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Bani Israel and say to them, When you enter the land that I am giving you, where you will make your homes, and you are presenting a fire offering to God, a burnt offering, or a sacrifice offering, to mark of fulfilling a vow, a freewill offering, or during Moedim, to present pleasing aroma to Adonai from the herd or from the flock. The one bringing the offering is to present a grain offering of 1/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/4 of a hin of oil. Now with each lamb for the burnt offering or sacrifice, you are to prepare 1/4 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. With a ram, you are to prepare 2/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/3 of a hin of oil and 1/3 of a hin of wine as a drink offering. You are to offer it as a pleasing aroma to Adonai. Whenever you are to prepare a young bull for a burnt offering, a special vow offering, or a fellowship offering to Adonai, bring with the young bull a grain offering of 3/10 of an ephah of fine flour mixed with 1/2 a hin of oil. You are to offer as the drink offering 1/2 a hin of wine, as a fire offering, a pleasing aroma to Adonai. This is to be done for each bull or ram, for each young goat or lamb. Do this for each one, for as many as you prepare. For everyone native born is to do these things, like so when bringing a fire offering as a pleasant aroma to Adonai. Whenever an outsider resides with you, or whoever is among you for your generations to come, and he is to present a fire offering as a fragrant aroma to Adonai, as you do, he must do exactly the same as you are doing. The community will have the same rule for you as well as for the resident outsider. It will be a lasting statute throughout your generations. As for you, so for the outsider will it be for Adonai, before Adonai. The same Torah and the same regulations will apply to both you and the outsider residing among you. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Bnei Israel, say to them, when you enter the land to which I am taking you, and you eat some of the food of the land, you are to offer a portion to Adonai. You are to offer a cake from the first of your ground-up meal and an offering from your threshing floor, so you are to lift up throughout your generations to come. You are to give an offering from the first of your ground-up meal. Unintentional versus defiant. If you unintentionally fail, not keeping any of these mitzvot that Adonai related to Moses, that is anything that Adonai commanded you through Moses' hand from the day Adonai commanded on onward throughout your generations, and it is done unintentionally out of sight of the community, then the entire community is to offer one young bull from the herd for a burnt offering as a pleasing aroma to Adonai, along with its appropriate grain offering and drink offering, and one male goat as a sin offering. So the Kohen will make atonement for the entire community of Bnei Israel, and they will be forgiven, for it was unintentional, and they brought a fire offering and their sin offering for Adonai in their error. So the whole community of Bnei Israel, along with the outsider residing among them, will be forgiven, for all the people were involved in the unintentional wrongdoing. But if one person should sin unintentionally, he is to bring a year-old female goat for a sin offering. The Kohen is to make atonement before Adonai for that person who erred by sinning without intent, and he is to be forgiven. When the atonement has been made for him, whether a native born of Bnei Israel or an outsider living among them, one Torah applies to you for the one sinning unintentionally. But the person who sins defiantly, whether native or outsider, reviles Adonai, that person is to be cut off from his people. Because he has despised the word of Adonai and has broken his commandment, that person will certainly be cut off. His guilt will remain on him. While Bnei Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man gathering wood on the Shabbat. Those who found him gathering wood brought him to Moses, Aaron, and the entire assembly. They kept him under arrest, not being clear what was to be done with him. Or to him. Adonai said to Moses, This man has to die. The whole assembly is to stone him with the stones outside the camp. So the whole assembly took him outside the camp. They stoned him with stones. He died just as Adonai commanded Moses. Zizit for holiness. Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Bnei Israel. Say to them that they are to make for themselves a zizit on the corner of their garments throughout their generations, and they are to put a blue cord in each zizit. It will be your own zizit. So whenever you look at them, you will remember all the mitzvot of Adonai and do them, and not go spying after your own hearts and your own eyes, prostituting yourselves. This way you will remember and obey all my mitzvot, and you will be holy to your God. I am Adonai your God. I brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am Adonai your God.